If you're feeling exhausted all the time, like you're constantly having to force yourself to show up to the things that used to be easy, it feels like you're on the last 5% of battery, just about getting by. This episode is for you. I've been there, and I want to talk about how I got myself out of that rut and what you can do to get your energy back and start feeling like yourself again. I know what you might be thinking right now. This is just another feel-good talk. No, this is about biology, not just mindset. You'll get some science too. Maybe you've entered a new season of life, which is starting to take its toll. If it's caring for a loved one that's becoming increasingly difficult, or applying for the 48th job, and you can't stand the idea of having to sit through another day of applications only to probably get no response, or worse, another rejection. I know what it's like to be there, to be so far down that you can't even imagine it getting better. But it can. It's not necessarily easy, nor is it quick, but it is possible. I went from that exact space, crying every night, having breakdowns throughout the day, putting up a brave face in front of others, acting like nothing was wrong. I had no idea how to help myself, and I didn't realize I was circling in a spiral of self-pity mixed with hopelessness and overwhelm. Trust me, it got messy. I'm not a therapist, I'm not an expert or some guru. I'm not going to give you the magic cure to solve this in 5 minutes or pretend that I can. Instead, I'm going to talk about what worked for me. If this is you, I hope you find even one nugget of useful information from this episode. And if you know someone who might relate, I hope you share this with them and help them through this tough moment. Okay, so let's start with the wonderful world of stress. When you're under chronic stress, your body doesn't just feel tired, it starts to break down. This is because of something called the HPA axis, your body's central stress response system. When it's constantly activated, it dysregulates cortisol, your sleep, your mood, your digestion, even your ability to think clearly. You're not broken, you're running on a system that's been in survival mode for too long, and that's not normal. So, here's the truth you might have to face, like I did too. Your body isn't betraying you, you're betraying it. Burnout, being stuck, or just not okay. I don't want to call it just burnout, because it might not be burnout for everyone. It might be a tough season you're going through, or you feel completely stuck, or lost, and don't know how to come out of it. You might be facing some of these symptoms. Waking up tired even after sleeping, snapping at small things, constant brain fog, not caring about things you used to enjoy, feeling numb or disconnected, endless to-do list paralysis. Junk food and caffeine are becoming your survival tools. When you're in that state of total exhaustion, you physically have no energy in your body, no mental capacity, and it's so hard to show up each day. That's when you need the recovery basics. So let's start on the easiest area first. When you wake up in the morning, you drink a glass of water, you go outside and get sunlight. That's it. I meant it when I said we're starting simple. If you're like me, when you're in a slump, spiraling further and further, you're just stuck indoors, locking yourself away from everything and everyone. So sunlight is one of the first things you're depriving your body of. We've heard about how the sun is important for our body, helps make vitamin D, which is essential for bones, for blood cells, and the immune system, amongst many other things. But sunlight is hugely beneficial for your mood and sleep too. I'll dive into the science behind it a little, so bear with me, and then we'll go into some easy, doable steps you can start taking right now. Okay, so your internal master clock, the suprachiasmatic nuclei, SCN, in your brain regulates your body's daily rhythms. This SCN clock operates through a molecular feedback loop, which basically means it receives crucial information from both your environment and your body and then takes action accordingly. The most important environmental signal is light, which enters your eyes, reaches your retina, and is directly relayed to the SCN via the retinohypothalamic tract. The SCN also gets non-light cues and is influenced by hormones like serotonin and melatonin. Your SCN constantly adjusts your body's rhythms based on the timing, intensity, and color of light. So, morning light advances your clock, while evening night light delays it. Even short exposures to light, like from a phone screen, can shift your circadian rhythm. So now, how does all this relate to helping you recover from that total exhaustion? It's related to the sleep-wake cycle. This is a prime example of this circadian control we have, driven by a relationship between the SCN, which is the circadian drive for wakefulness, and homeostatic sleep pressure, which is basically the increasing need for sleep the longer we're awake. So, daylight is crucial for good sleep. More outdoor time can shift sleep earlier, which is actually more natural for our bodies. We naturally want to go to bed around 9 to 10 p.m. if we follow the natural cues of our bodies and give it everything it needs. More daylight is linked to longer sleep, enhanced sleep quality, reduced time to fall asleep, and better deep sleep. Basically, sunlight in the morning does wonders for all areas of our sleep. And sleep, out of everything, is the most important factor of health, even over food and water. Bad sleep leads to bad everything else. It's that deep. And so, artificial light, especially from screens, harms sleep. Evening exposure delays the circadian clock and sleep timing because it's precisely when your system is most sensitive to light's delaying effects. Screen light, especially the blue-rich light, suppresses melatonin. It increases sleep onset latency, which basically means it takes longer to fall asleep. It reduces evening sleepiness and lowers the next morning alertness. So the effect carries over to the next day, and you can easily find yourself in a negative cycle which keeps repeating itself. And if you didn't already know, light also affects mood. It directly influences mood-regulating neurotransmitters like serotonin and helps stabilize circadian rhythms, which is why light therapy is used for mood disorders. It's also why it's common to experience seasonal depression during winter months when it tends to be darker and we have fewer sunlight hours. Realigning your circadian rhythm takes time. If your system has been desynchronized, so you haven't been working with it for a long time, so you're getting insufficient morning light, excessive evening screen exposure, it can take at least 1 full week of consistent effort before you notice significant changes in sleep or energy. It literally took me full 7 days of getting sunlight every morning before I actually noticed anything. I was having a really tough time falling asleep at one point, and I wasn't getting sunlight in the morning. When I started this routine, it was literally on day 7, that night, I actually fell asleep easily and at a normal time. So don't get discouraged. While it took me a week, it might take you a bit longer. You have to be patient with these things. The effects are cumulative, meaning each day of correct light exposure builds upon the last day, and it's gradually piling up. The beneficial effects are gradually building, and then you'll start seeing the noticeable results. So, starting off the day, just start with 10 minutes of sunlight. Go outside within 30 minutes of waking, and that's your first step to helping your body. If you want to build that up more, you can do 15 to 20 minutes each day. Or on the cloudy days, start off with staying out a bit longer. And remember, because it's cumulative, if one day you're not in the mood or you're busy, aim for 5 minutes that day and then do 15 minutes the next. Now, before we go to the next recovery basic, I don't want it to seem like you're adding all these different things into your routine on top of whatever else you've got going on. That's just going to cause more overwhelm. So first, see if there are things you can strip out of your day, just temporarily. Are there some nice to complete tasks, but not really essential, that you can just put to the side for now? Obviously, I understand life doesn't just pause for us when we want. In these instances, after really trying to remove any non-essential tasks from your schedule for maybe a week or just a few days, look at what tasks you can batch and plan for. For example, if meals are causing a constant stress, maybe just sit down today, take 1 hour, and plan what exactly you're going to eat for each meal, what groceries you need, and when you're going to cook it all. Audit your schedule and find areas you can batch things or just find ways to make it less complicated. It will help you with that recovery process. Okay, so now let's dive into the morning and start with breakfast. Many people skip breakfast because there's no time, no appetite, or because it helps you lose weight. The truth, skipping breakfast does not help you lose weight. You might be surprised, but skipping breakfast actually causes you to gain weight. Mad, right? So, which camp are you in right now? You either eat a good, healthy, well-balanced breakfast already, nice going if that's you. You have some kind of snack or high sugary processed breakfast, or you skip breakfast altogether because, I don't know, you're not hungry, you feel sick when you eat in the morning, or you're too busy. So, like we did with the sunlight, let's first dive into a shallow pool of some science behind breakfast. Notice I said shallow pool. We're not going to be getting PhDs in breakfast science, so don't worry, it's not going to get that intense. I hope. No, I'm kidding, it won't. Eating breakfast signals to your body that calories are plentiful, encouraging it to burn energy rather than conserve it. And so skipping breakfast tells your body to hold on to calories, especially in women, because of the distribution of the type of muscle fibers we have and how they need energy to function. Despite breakfast skippers often consuming slightly fewer daily calories, studies consistently link it to higher BMI, increased weight gain, and more weight cycling. Apparently, this is also called yo-yo dieting, which, like it sounds, is basically losing weight and then gaining weight multiple times. I haven't done the research into the effects of that, but I imagine it can't be good for you. Regular, balanced breakfast consumption, especially a substantial one, is associated with reduced body weight, lower BMI, and less weight regain, even in postmenopausal women. So, basically, the benefits of breakfast are a metabolic boost. Breakfast triggers positive metabolic changes. It promotes weight stability and reduces harmful visceral fat. That's a decrease in the risk of numerous metabolic issues, including heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, high triglycerides, and metabolic syndrome. It improves insulin function and decreases insulin resistance, so you're less likely to have anxiety, stress, and mood roller coaster rides throughout the day, at least the food-related ones anyways. It enhances satiety and reduces cravings. Eating breakfast keeps your satiety hormones, leptin and PYY, higher, and the hunger hormones like ghrelin suppressed throughout the day. So basically, you feel full from your meals and you're not constantly hungry. A moderate to high carbohydrate and high protein breakfast is particularly effective at increasing fullness and decreasing overall appetite, leading to more intuitive eating. You won't mindlessly snack as much. So, when you're skipping breakfast, you're more likely to gain weight, increase your hunger hormones so you snack more throughout the day. You're also more likely to be going through the day on a high stress alert level. You might not even know it. If you regularly skip breakfast, you might think the low energy you have is your norm. Your sleep and mood are also likely to be affected in negative ways. As women, our bodies are built to receive food when we wake up. When we wake up around 30 minutes after waking, we enter a catabolic state and cortisol levels peak. This is natural and healthy, and it's what signals our body to wake up and become alert to start the day. Cortisol isn't bad. It's actually really important for many functions, including alertness. But when it's raised all the time, that's when it's bad, because our brains shouldn't be marinating in cortisol all day. To bring the catabolic state down, reduce cortisol, and help with insulin sensitivity, we need a protein-focused breakfast with some carbs for energy. This catabolic state, if maintained, will result in our brain breaking down lean muscle mass, that's the stuff you want to keep, to get energy, as no food is entering, so it's signaling a lack of nutrition that the body needs to compensate for. So, even if you have a low appetite, you can give yourself a mini meal, and you may even find that low morning appetite is reversed over time as your body adjusts back to its natural system. This could be as small as a clean protein powder mixed with your coffee. It doesn't have to be a meal. If you're not big on starting with a meal in the morning, maybe you can try something like that. You could add a little sweetened almond milk to get the carbs as well. I get it. You're not going to suddenly cook eggs and oats at 7 a.m. in the morning before your commute if you've never done that before. And I'm not saying you have to. But after hearing all that, it made me really think about my breakfast. I'm a breakfast girly, so I don't skip breakfast. But my breakfasts were like a 5-year-old. Cocoa Pops, Weetos, or Rice Krispies. Or if I did do a grocery shop, maybe I would be fancy and have some pastries. All the good stuff, basically. I started to get really bad brain fog in the morning after eating breakfast, and it would last hours to the point that I couldn't work and I couldn't focus. And that's what made me start getting into the research of looking into why this was happening and what glucose spikes were. I'd love to say that I never look back since and I've always been eating super healthy, savory breakfast all the time, but that would be a lie. There are plenty of days I still have a quote unquote rubbish breakfast because I'm craving that rubbish, or because I just can't be bothered to make something, there's nothing in the house, and I just default to my typical tea and biscuit breakfast. So I'm not here to guilt trip anyone. I'm just sharing what I learned, what you might want to experiment with, because if how you start your morning is affecting your mind and your energy levels like it did for me, then this one tip might actually make a really big difference for you. And again, I want to add the caveat, please be patient with your body. This stuff takes time. It's a slow process. Don't expect overnight success or even massive changes after a week. Give it time and take it slow and be patient with yourself. Some things that you might like to have in the morning, which are relatively quick to make, could be Greek yogurt with a handful of nuts and seeds and berries, a boiled egg with some sourdough toast, maybe put some avocado on it too, maybe a protein shake with some banana, scrambled eggs with spinach and feta or any other kind of veg you have, oats with a scoop of protein powder, peanut butter and chia seeds, or maybe tofu and paneer scramble with turmeric and veg. With some of these suggestions, they might sound healthy, but when you give it a go, listen to your body. You might find that some of these don't agree with you. For example, for some people, having a banana in the morning might be too high of a sugar boost and it causes a glucose spike leading to brain fog. So instead, maybe an apple or a pear. I don't know. Experiment and see what works for you. For me, for example, oats caused brain fog. It took me a while to clock, but when I removed oats from my diet, it worked really well for me. Another tip, which I do, is prepare your breakfast the night before. This works really well for savory breakfasts, and it saves you a lot of time. So just take a moment and think about it. What's your relationship like with food in the morning? How can you make it just 3% better so your body is more taken care of? The rest of the day easily gets busy and things pop up. So starting the day well and keeping that consistency might be easier. I'll leave it there for the first episode. 2 easy steps we can start to become more mindful to start feeling better. Getting sunlight in the morning and giving our beautiful bodies a better breakfast. If this is resonating with you and you feel that it is these fundamentals that you want help with, try out my free 5-day challenge. I try to make it easy without causing overwhelm, but at the same time pack as much value as I could in a short time. It's totally free. Get the worksheets from herintentionaljourney.com/challenge or check the description. Until next time, stay intentional, protect your energy, and show up for you.